Care Court help the homeless crisis? Details on the program that starts in just a few days. Plus, how these people were able to run across the border illegally.
I want to let people know that no matter how dark things appear, there is hope.
The local mental health program proving a home instead of a hospital, providing a home instead of a hospital. Plus, will El Nino bring us more rain this winter?
And it is a cloudy start to the morning. In many cases, those clouds are way low down to the ground, so we're seeing some fog. We're at 2.5 miles of visibility in Oceanside, less than a mile down south in Imperial Beach. We'll take a look at how long the fog will last and what to expect as rain could move into the forecast this upcoming weekend. You're up with CBS 8.
You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
And we have some breaking news we want to get to right now. Take a look at this. Quite a few firefighters there on the scene of a fire. This is in Lemon Grove. You're getting a live look right now from our photographer who is on the scene.
Yeah, this is happening at the 3100 block of Chateau Way. We can tell you this fire started around 5 a.m. You can see some of the smoke billowing there in the corner of that house. Quite a bit of damage there. I'm not seeing active flames right now. You can see quite a bit of water was put out on this. We're working for you to find out if anyone was hurt here and how this started. But the fire crew is out there trying to maintain this, knock it down, make sure that those flames don't pick up again.
Yeah, from part of this live look, you can tell there's some damage to the rooftop. And also should point out, this is pretty close to the 94. So if you see smoke, that's what this is, where this is coming from. But it did bring out a pretty heavy response with firefighters. Not sure what they're working on there along that sidewalk. But of course, we're working to get information for you. We'll be sure to bring it back to you.
Well, it is the latest response to the homeless crisis. This morning, the county getting ready to implement a new program aimed at getting people into housing and treatment. Glad you're with us here. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampur. So it's called Care Court. You've likely heard us talking about it here. It all starts this weekend. CBS 8's Chris Crow live at the County Administration Building. Leaders are getting a head start on this by explaining what it is, right, Chris?
Yeah, they're going to be explaining, going into a little bit more depth about how the county is going to roll this out. But we also did our own preview, speaking to the very important stakeholders here in terms of who will be running this from the county.
So it's a narrow band of people. It is, it is a program not designed to address the broader scope of needs across the world of behavioral health, and certainly the broader scope of needs at the nexus of behavioral health and homelessness. But that doesn't mean that it won't be useful.
And that's Behavioral Health Director for the county, Dr. Luke Bergman. So let's break down Care Court as best we know right now. It's going to be, at least it's being advertised as a new tool to help battle homeless crisis as well as a spread of mental illness. Now, the local leaders here, they say that there is a number of people who are going untreated with mental illness or even drug addiction that has led them to homelessness. A family member, a medical professional, or a first responder can petition the court that someone they know or encountered is suffering. That person will be evaluated by a medical professional. Then the court decides if they should meet with a case manager to undergo a care plan. The whole process is voluntary, meaning that the person petitioned can decide whether or not they want to participate. We spoke with Judge Kimberly Legata about that.
If the respondent does not participate in the CARE Act services, the court may terminate the respondent from the court process. And additionally, if the respondent was in a court-ordered care plan and was provided all services and supports as agreed to in a timely manner, the respondent fails to complete the care plan, that fact can be considered in a future conservatorship hearing.
And of course, we've seen not only local leaders talking about this, state leaders as well, too. California Governor Gavin Newsom highlighting this in recent national interviews. And this is something that will be starting on October 1st. And again, San Diego County, one of the first here in the state to roll this out. Eric and Netta.
CBS 8's Chris Groh reporting there. Thank you, Chris. Well, take a look at this here. You see this video showing people just crossing right here into the border illegally through that hole at Friendship Park. This is along the southern border here. A viewer shared this video with us. That fence apparently came down while construction crews were doing work out there, created that opportunity for that group of people to run across, even a dog sprinting through to American soil. No word on if those people were caught. This morning, the county has formally declared the current migrant influx a humanitarian crisis. The Board of Supervisors made that declaration with a unanimous vote yesterday, pointing to a lack of resources from the federal government for asylum seekers.
San Diego County has proven to be a welcoming place, and we must continue to provide the support and services to anyone arriving at the border seeking humanitarian protection.
This resolution.
Some San Diegans and some nonprofit leaders who spoke at the meeting, they are skeptical, saying that while they support this resolution, the county needs to do something now to address the crisis. So what exactly does this declaration do? Well, it calls on the federal government to designate resources and people to help asylum seekers move through the system. It formally opposes other states sending migrants here. It details local nonprofit needs to federal delegation, and it advocates for federal funding to find a permanent solution.
New for you this morning, Hollywood writers are expected to return to work today after a 5-month-long strike. It officially ended at midnight. Union leaders approved an agreement with studios and streaming services. It includes wage increases and better residuals for writers and guidelines around the use of artificial intelligence. Members now have almost 2 weeks to vote on this new contract. The union is letting them go back to work during this process. Meanwhile, overnight SAG-AFTRA, which represents striking actors, told its members there are no dates scheduled to meet with their studios. This morning, there are new gun laws here in California. One of them would double the tax on guns and ammunition, and that money will be used for security at public schools and gun violence prevention programs. The group San Diegans for Gun Violence Prevention says funding for mental health programs need to come from the source of the problem.
Those who are creating the weapons that are causing the harm will be putting money into a fund that will then be used to prevent violence and to help heal those who are harmed by gun violence.
The tax now, by the way, goes up to about 20%. Another law bans people from carrying guns in 26 different public places. The San Diego County Gun Owners Political Action Committee has now filed a lawsuit.
What we should be doing, rather than punishing sane, trained, law-abiding gun owners, we should be helping those who are going through a mental crisis.
Another law requires semi-automatic pistols to have micro-stamping technology so police can identify guns used in crimes. And now for this Earth 8 report here. After 3 years of La Nina, the eastern Pacific Ocean has switched to El Nino, the pattern of warmer sea surface temperatures. As El Nino continues to gain strength, some wonder whether this will mean heavy rain for California this winter. CBS 8's meteorologist Sean Stiles talked to the National Weather Service.
The El Nino is well established in the eastern Pacific, and in fact, the latest sea surface temperatures have it growing into the strong range. But long-range models, they only have it being above average as far as rainfall and less than last year.
The 3.4 region is where it's generally accepted as the heart of El Nino, and it's 1.7 right now. So that is strong.
Alex Tardy is a meteorologist for the National Weather Service here in San Diego. He says that 1.7 degrees Celsius above average for the past week is misleading.
In order to tip the scale on a 3 months average, I mean, you're going to have to be sitting at strong for at least a month.
Since July, the numbers have been trending up, and that 1.7, which equals 4 degrees Fahrenheit, may not seem like much in the air.
But we're talking about the ocean, which has a lot of capacity to absorb heat. That's a big number difference from a long-term average.
Tardy says El Ninos of the past have not always turned into big rains for California.
Because the correlation's not 1-to-1. You don't just get a strong El Nino and then strengthen it and consolidate the jet stream and then bring more rain to every location on the West Coast.
This is a look at the winter forecast from the Climate Prediction Center.
The official forecast is barely hinting at wetter than normal conditions for December, January, February.
Add to that, the wettest winters in the past 10 years were not El Ninos.
They were La Nina 2011, La Nina 2017. Notice I'm saying La Nina, not El Nino. And then La Nina of 2023, last year.
So what Alex Tardy and the National Weather Service does know, it will take more than a strong El Nino to bring heavy rains back to California. Sean Stiles, Earth 8.
Yeah, that's similar to what you're going to be seeing on your drive in this morning. I noticed on the 15, the 163, people going real slow. You could hardly see the signs, your exit signs.
It was interesting, like right in my neighborhood, no fog, and then a few blocks over, I could barely see the street signs and all the things. So really go slow.
Yeah, take it easy. Give yourself a little extra time here right now.
Definitely a good idea. Yeah, it's patchy in some spots. South Bay is particularly impacted this morning. It's also more of a coastal issue than an inland issue. Yesterday, it was more of an inland issue. So varying degrees of intensity depending on where you are. We also have a dense fog advisory that is going to be in effect all the way through 9 a.m., so another 3 hours on that. Prior to sunrise, which we still have a little bit of time on, we will likely see this intensify. And even after sunrise, it will take several hours for the sun to help burn off these clouds. So expect this to be an issue going through the next several hours. 2.5 miles of visibility up in Oceanside. We are at less than about a third of a mile in Fallbrook, third of a mile in Miramar. Same situation down in Imperial Beach. Downtown San Diego's at 2.5 miles, but Kearney Mesa's doing all right now at 9 miles. So again, varying degrees of intensity, very patchy to kick off the morning. Temperatures this afternoon are going to be quite comfortable. We're going to be pretty warm as we start to make our way inland. 82 is on average what we'll see across most of our western valleys, but as you make your way as far east as Ramona, for example, we're going to climb to the upper 80s, closer to 89, even 90 degrees possible. So today is the standout sunny, warm day out there. We are in many cases closer to the coastline, just hugging average, maybe a degree or two cooler than average. But the reason why I say this is the warm day ahead is because we are only cooling down day to day moving forward. So from here through the upcoming weekend, temperatures are going to cool daily, and then we'll see that opportunity for rain, especially going into Saturday. Walking out the door right now, upper 50s and low 60s along the coast. Mid 50s as you start to make your way inland. A little bit cooler off toward Ramona. 42 to start off the morning and 54 for Alpine. Let's take a look at your border wait times as you head out the door. If you're at the San Ysidro port of entry, looks like you're going to be waiting about 100 minutes. So an hour and 40 or so. Otay Mesa port of entry, you're looking at about an hour 15 wait. It's a little bit faster than yesterday at this time. However, you can always head to cbs8.com/traffic for more on the wait times that you'll see, especially as you get onto our local freeways. Ned and Eric, back to you.
Evan, thank you so much. And still ahead here, shocking video shows a drive-thru employee shooting at a customer. What led to this?
Plus, that's not Yogi Bear. Nope. The wild visitor at one family's picnic.
Wow.
And as we go to break here, gas prices up again. Yeah, take a look. Today's average for a gallon of regular, $6.10. That's 3 cents higher than yesterday.